Welcome to Graveyard Crypto. Today's date is January 5th, 2021. Current price of Bitcoin is around $34,000, sorry. Ethereum's around $1,100. $1,100, that's correct. And Bitcoin did get to a super all-time high at $34,800. We had a little bit of a correction down from there to about $28,000. And now we're back up to around $34,000. So that's pretty amazing. And also another thing to note too, that market cap overall for the everything is around $916 billion. I mean, we were very close to $1 trillion market cap. And the Bitcoin dominance right now at 68.8%. And for those who don't know, basically that's how much of the market cap of that $917 billion is made up in Bitcoin's value. So we got a lot of things going on today. I mean, lots of news. We haven't been on since December 22nd, around there, and that price was around $23,000, $22,000. So we actually made an increase of about 50% from that, which is, I mean, I don't know what you guys thinking, but that's a big move.
You push that woo button real quick.
I mean, come on, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
I just counted real quick. Since the last time we recorded, we've logged 8 new all-time highs since then. That was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. So, I mean, I don't know if we can get in some of the news that's going on and some of the things that are going on, because a lot of stuff has actually happened. I mean, the crypto industry in itself, every day that goes by, there's just so much news going on, right? I mean, and then if you miss like a couple weeks, we had a holiday break. It's like you come back and it's like, I don't even know where to begin. There's just too much.
Oh yeah, it's moving at light speed. I mean, you miss a couple hours, you miss a morning, like you're always waking up to something new.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of price action around 1, 2, 3 in the morning. I've had a few sleepless nights.
And the weekends are not for the resting either, apparently. The weekends seem to be the hottest time.
Last 2 Saturdays, we got huge pumps, yeah.
Oh my God.
Now, was there a lot of volume in those weekends, or is it low volume kind of pumps?
Good question.
That's something I wonder. Right?
I would say it's pretty. It's pretty even. It doesn't discriminate. It seems like the volume's pretty steady.
So, if you could just kind of point the mouse.
That was pretty high volume right here. Was like this past Saturday.
Yeah, so that looks like there's more volume. It looks like on some of the weekends, I guess, in some of the days, right? The weekdays, or am I looking at something wrong? I don't know. Are these daily?
This was Saturday, and then Monday we had that more correction of a move that had pretty high volume here Monday.
Those are daily.
Yes,
right
this is daily. So
okay.
You see it right here, January 2nd. That was this last Saturday, and the previous Saturday was the 26th. That was a relatively lower volume move.
Right. So
that's what you're looking at.
So each of those bars represent, for anybody who's looking, if they're not really sure what they're looking at, each of those bars represents a day, right? So the green candles are basically you close the day higher, right, than the day before, and then the red, which is the opposite, you're actually lower than the next day, and then you could see the little wicks where those little lines kind of where the highs and the lows are touching. So
I was trying to draw a straight line with that. That didn't work.
It's pretty straight.
You can see these numbers up here. You can check quickly your high, low, open, and close for any particular candle you rest on. So to give you an example, here was that Saturday's candle. So we went from a low of 29,030 to a high of 33,147. So over a $4,000 move in one day.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. I mean,
I wanted more, honestly, but
I mean, the $40,000 Bitcoin is in play. It's right around the corner. Who knows what's going to really happen?
It's amazing how boring these levels get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's boring, but at the same rate, you look at the ups and downs in one day. So we're talking was like a $4,000 move in a day, like
more than that.
Yeah. So that to me is like, oh my God, like think about it. In the future, we're going to see easy $10,000 candles, like.
Well, this weekly candle's at 10,000 you're looking at from last week.
Yeah, but we're talking about daily. I'm not even talking.
We'll get there.
Oh my God, it's so exciting.
Oh
You
my
know,
God.
Talk
it
about
really
heart
is.
palpitations.
Like, like it's just like if you're not looking, especially when it's really on the move, and you can blink and then you come back 20 minutes later and you're like, oh my God, it moved up like $2,000 or $3,000 in the matter of like me just put my phone down, going to do something, and you come back and you're like, oh, it's $37,000 now, or 40,
Yeah, it's
crazy.
true. We might go to sleep tonight, get a good night's sleep, 8 hours, and wake up and it'll be 40,000
You're not sleeping, and
Or
neither am I.
20,000.
or 20,000. Also true. Important to point out.
There could be a correction, but I mean, there was a 19% correction from that last move, and usually when you're making high moves up, there's always going to be uh, a correction, which we got. So maybe that was the correction we kind of needed.
True.
Opportunity to buy too, right?
Only
Buy
in the
those
one
dips.
day. I mean, if you look at the weekly chart, there's no correction here. You know?
No, it's even more bullish looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
My shooting star.
There's the RSI at 90, almost 94.
That's pretty hefty.
and
But
that's and the best thing is
That's
that's just Bitcoin. That's not even like some of the
that's like
other.
it's like all-time high levels right now.
Yeah.
crazy.
So I don't know if you want to get into the news. Jeff, you got any articles maybe you want to
Yeah, I
discuss?
pulled up a few things we were chatting about. I can always look anything else up as we move along too. See what's
Okay.
popular and current. But well, this came up first. Matt, you asked me to pull this up. I only heard whispers about this on Twitter.
Can you share your screen for that?
Oh, I thought I'm in a different browser. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to use a different thing. It's there you go.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Well, we're sort of sitting around 34,000, which is again $34,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, and we're like,
Yeah, the
you
dollar
know,
Think about that. So Tether.
Tether.
My biggest concern, obviously, one of my concerns, and I don't know if you go on like crypto Twitter or Bitcoin Twitter, but there are a few people that are very hard to deal with, but they make points about Tether where, they're printing out Tether and it's not being, there's no oversight whatsoever. Anytime um, anybody asks, can we have some of the audits? And they're like, nope, no, so there's an issue where who knows if they're printing up uh, Tether that's not really being bought up or backed by anything, which is a concern. Almost
Do
like
you,
the Federal Reserve, right?
do you guys know what Tether is exactly? Like,
Yeah, it's a stable coin
but
by Bitfinex, right?
there's different types of stable coins, right? Do you know what type of stable coin it is?
No, I don't know what you mean.
I'm not even sure what you're asking. Yeah.
Like like DAI is a stable coin, but it's a
Yeah,
decentralized stable coin that's soft
I
pegged
would think
to the
it's
dollar,
centralized, right?
where it's not one for like there's stable coins where physically there's $1 in a vault for every one digital stable coin issued. Um,
Right.
whereas, there's decentralized types and then there's centralized types. So I was just curious what kind of stablecoin is USDT exactly?
I would say centralized, right? It's being created by one organization, Bitfinex, and there's I think it's January 15th, which is a key date to look at. They got to go to court and basically explain what's going, I'm not, listen, I'm not an expert on all this, but I know it's just something we should be keeping our eye on in the next 10 days where they are going to court.
Yeah.
So like, because what if they find there's something wrong or something? God forbid that they find out like, yeah, that's fraudulent. There's nothing that's backing it.
Yeah, maybe.
Greg,
I think I know what you're implying. Almost like XRP now, and then all of a sudden Tether starts getting delisted from exchanges, and no one can use it.
Right, and
And what
that's
happens then?
tied
Yeah.
to, unless like you said, Greg likes Dai. I like Dai. Dai is actually backed by something. It's backed by Ethereum. It's backed by a physical asset. Whereas this, they're saying that it's backed by like mysterious gold or they actually, I think it's even backed by Bitcoin because that's kind of weird. Like you're printing Bitcoin. I mean, you're printing Tether to back up Bitcoin that you're buying to put in your reserves. You
so
know,
USDT is a fiat-backed stable coin.
yeah.
A 1-to-1 ratio of the fiat currency that it's pegged to. So in comparison to crypto-backed stablecoins like DAI or commodity-backed um, uh, cryptos, like what is that one, Pax G?
Yeah.
And then they have non-collateralized stable coins, which are not backed by any asset, but they use algorithms to adjust the supply and demand of the stable coin in order to keep the value stable.
Yeah.
So there's actually like a couple different types.
It's almost, if you think about it, very close to central bank digital currencies, right? I mean, but it said it's not a central bank. It's just
Right. Yeah, so central bank digital currencies are interesting because they're going to be kind of like an even different type of stable coin.
Mm,
It would probably be more of a like a commodity. It would be a fusion of all those actually.
right.
It's a basket of a whole bunch of things, which is really interesting. You know, that's kind of what they took that idea from the Libra Facebook coin, right, which is now called Diem.
yep.
Um, but it's really interesting to see what comes of that. Could be good.
Yeah.
It'll
And
be good and
actually,
bad, just like anything else.
But you give up the privacy for security kind of thing.
Did you see in China what they already have their digital currency out? They were offering lotteries to give away 20 million yuan if you
Yeah.
download the app and sign up for the app and link it to your account and everything. That's how they're getting people to.
Yeah, I think CBDCs will be good. And the only reason why I'm saying that's good is because we still have Bitcoin. Like you don't have to participate if you don't want to.
As
But
long as there's another option, a fair
and
option. Yeah.
this is
for
actually what Jeff has pulled up here, which is big news, right? Jeff, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I think so. I didn't look too deeply into this yet because I've been focused on the Bitcoin price action mostly, but I think this was good to hear. It's just more acceptance in the traditional world, regulatory, that
Right. Well,
OCC, the Office Comptroller of the Currency Regulator, implements groundbreaking cryptocurrency guidance for banks. Basically, they're going to be allowed to work with, at the very least, stable coins, and then probably leading into other cryptocurrencies too, I would imagine, but at least for now, stable coins. They're allowed to run nodes for stable coins, which might raise maybe some privacy issues, but it's giving a lot of validation, I feel like, to the space in general. This is a big step forward towards
I was gonna
adoption and
say,
slash acceptance.
Jeff, that we could say goodbye to Swift now, I guess, right? Because is there a company Swift that is that a company? What is that? Because
I'm not sure what to call it, but that's how money is moved internationally.
right, because that's what they use. They use an old system Swift that basically uses like 50-year-old technology to move and transfer money. And if that's going to happen, whatever this is, Swift, whatever company, or is it a company? Let's see, a society. Is that it? Society
Yes,
for Worldwide. If that's an actual company, they're dead. They're dead in the water.
the
Like
system is
that's
dead.
it. They're gone unless they somehow adopt some technology of some sort where they can kind of keep themselves in there. I can't. I don't know what else like
Even
this.
then, they've never dealt with competition before, and now they have it.
Oh,
So at best for them, they're weakened. You know,
yeah,
which is
and
good though. I mean, competition drives innovation, and then
yes,
people have a choice. Once people have a choice, they're going to go to the better choice.
yeah. It's definitely like a crazy situation because when you have now these central banks and banks using like blockchain technology of some sort, and I'm sure, like I got to mention it, Ethereum. I'm sure they're going to be using the blockchain and using stuff where they're using tokens on there, and it. There's just so much going on, and this just makes everything even more legitimate. Like to get the okay from the government saying, okay, you can do this. Go ahead.
You mentioned Ethereum. I just remembered stumbling
Stellar?
across this news article too. Stellar, the Ukraine is using Stellar to build their own national digital currency.
Yeah.
All different blockchains being used. It's interesting. Which Stellar actually was created by one of the creators of XRP, and now XRP is getting in trouble
Yeah.
because they're being investigated by the SEC or sued. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. I
They're
dumped out of my XRP quite a while ago.
they're basically with the XRP
Raise
thing,
Odin.
they're using them saying that they are security and unregistered security because they, I guess, sold tokens that and that's the problem people have, where when you have a centralized company in charge of a cryptocurrency of any sort, that the government can, somebody's in charge, and they
Did
can
that
go.
news come out? Probably right around December 18th when this started plummeting.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was after we recorded our last podcast,
Yeah,
because we would
it
have
was like
mentioned
right after.
that's yeah.
But I mean, for OGs out there, I mean, we kind of always hated Ripple, but
Yeah, I was in it because I was kind of under I believe the idea that if banks adopted it, it would be valuable and it would be worth it. And maybe that will still be true one day. You can see
yeah,
here on this chart, I was holding XRP this whole time and just kept telling myself like, oh, this is a bottoming pattern any day now. But then when I
Huh.
broke the support line, I exited right here.
yeah,
I've been out ever since. And that's when I started trading the old coins earlier this year and I was doing very well. So I'm glad I freed up those funds at the time.
nice.
And I mean, yeah, it swung back up a little, but now it's, I mean, pathetic how
Dying.
badly it's crashed against Bitcoin.
That's dead.
Although USD, I don't know. It seems bottoming on USD still. 18 cents somewhere around there.
Well, USD is also dropping.
Very good point.
Going down together.
That's a very, very good point. Pull that up.
So, besides just USD going down, also any other news? Like, I don't know if you want to talk about the JP Morgan thing that just came out.
Oh, yeah, we
today.
can get to that. I pulled up this XRP thing, and it's Stellar kind of tied into it, so we kind of
Yeah.
went right through my couple of news articles here. But even the whales of XRP
Oh yeah.
is going down. Everybody's just getting out of XRP right now. I don't know if it's going to die,
I
but
don't. I don't
people
think
are going to
it'll
be
die,
staying
but
away from that from quite some time. There's no
I think
liquidity there because it's being delisted, you
I
know?
heard Grayscale is the latest to remove them.
Yeah, that's a big one.
well, like the way I look at it is a lot of these companies probably want to get away from it until the court thing gets settled. If the court thing gets settled and they found that they're not a security, then guess what? It's going to go right back up, and everything's going to relist it, and everyone's going to make up, and everything's going to be fine. Like that's the problem with that. Max Kaiser, SEC will target other garbage altcoins after Ripple. Well, I could see that, but
I can too, and that's why like maybe Stellar has to be careful. I don't know where they're based though, or if there's even I don't know where their foundation is based. I know XRP is a part of the Ripple Corporation, which is based in the United States. If Stellar is not based in the United States, what happens? I don't know. It's a different situation though, you know.
yeah, I mean, like I'm even like as a small holder of XRP, and I mean real small. I'm not concerned about it. I mean, if I had a lot of XRP, like if that made up, because there's some people that, the XRP army, whatever you want to call them, that if you have like 80% of your, funds in XRP, like I worry for you. But if you have like 1% in it or less than that, like oh well,
Yeah,
like
if you're not out already,
yeah, I would be concerned. But I mean, at this point, it's dropped so low. But then what happens when they get delisted and you can, but it's only delisted in America too. That's one thing we have to understand.
very
Like
true.
this is
Very
an
true.
American thing. America, for the freest country in the world, it's not. They're very harsh with a lot of things. So there's if you're in a different country, you can still trade XRP. And just like we live in New York, we have problems with our own state where we can't do things. So we're even in the worst area because, like, I can't even use some of these, what is it, BlockFi or whatever.
Bittrex, Kraken,
Yeah.
US-based exchanges we can't even use.
So I have problems with that, where they just so that's the only thing I could say for like kind of like Go XRP. Like it's not dead in the sense that it's hurting in America, but everywhere else it might be okay. Who knows?
It's dead.
If he dies, he dies.
You know what I guess I would just say to that is those funds could be used in better places right now, at least in the short and midterm.
Bingo.
That's my opinion.
No,
If they're
that's
gonna
true.
die,
There's better utility for banks to use if they want to do cross-border transactions.
I think
The stable coin.
I think that if you have a lot of XRP, like I'd rather be holding like Polkadot or something than XRP.
DOT is gonna be hot this year. I think this is
Dot's
a year
gonna
of DOT as being like Link was last year. DOT is gonna be this year, I think.
Yeah, they're talking that thing's gonna hit $100, and I'm like, I want to buy some. I don't have any yet, and I do like that you can stake. I know it has staking protocols, and it's kind of like Link, right? It's for interoperability between different blockchains. Is that what it's kind of is?
I think that's part of it. It seems to be another smart contract platform. I've been hearing about them since like 2018 when I was doing
Yeah,
some more research and stuff.
it was funny. It
When
was
the
that and
coin just got
Tezos
released.
were always like talked about. That like these new block they weren't out yet, but now it has been doing pretty good.
It was
But
an uptrend.
yeah, is that against Bitcoin or that's against dollars though? So I'm curious to see what the Bitcoin dot chart is. Maybe we can pull that one up just to see,
Yeah,
again, if
let's see.
it's going
Yeah.
against Bitcoin, how good are we going to be doing? Because that's the main thing. Sometimes you want to be able to increase your Bitcoin percentage too. Because if you can increase your Bitcoin percentage,
I think it's been doing very well against Bitcoin too. At least since Bitcoin's really been running up, like the last week or two, maybe.
mm,
Where should I look for that? Binance? Probably Binance.
yeah, dot BTC. There we go. So another thing too, like with dot, like
Yeah, I had a bounce recently, but
now,
still a strong downward trend there.
yeah. See, that's the thing. You look at it up there, and then right, you got to just kind of continue to see where this chart goes from there, because that the other one. But now you look short term, right? Go in the last month, maybe, because this is a
What day is
relatively new
this?
crypto.
December 28th, it broke out of the downward trend. Maybe. This looks actually like we might be in a bull flag here.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You
Because I
see, I mean,
see.
if you see this long downward channel, if it breaks above this trend line, you'd be in
Yep.
pretty good shape.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it does break above that, you're looking at some serious. And
You're
this is
looking at
with Bitcoin
100%
too.
gain pretty much from where you're at right now if it gets back to the previous high against Bitcoin.
Could you guys
Yeah.
explain what Polkadot is exactly?
I know it's a smart contract platform, and they just released their token not too
I'm not,
long
I'm
ago.
not, I'm not, can you go to their website maybe? I'm not an expert on it. Basically, it's kind of like Cardano, like Ethereum. It's you know, proof of stake. Uh, what the hell do they call that? I'm having a brain fart here. It's proof of stake coin that basically kind of is similar to Chainlink. Go to their website, yeah,
Similar
Polkadot.
to Ethereum, right? Where you just build.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can build
that's what
that
I
on,
think.
but it also allows for because if you scroll down, like
Interoperability.
yeah, that's cross blockchain transfers of any type or data asset, not just tokens. And then I was looking at the website down. If you go to the bottom, see like staking, which is great. Well, nope, too far. Like keep going right there. Like these things right here. These are other protocols. If you highlight those buttons or whatever, like
Parity. Chain safe.
I've heard of that Sora. I've been hearing about that. I don't know if that's another type of crypto that's being built on that, but again, I don't know too much about it. That I'm willing to bet a lot on it, but I've just been hearing a lot of like talk in the background that this one could actually do pretty well.
Maybe that's a good way to look at it, and they have the term here. It's a Web3 protocol like Ethereum is.
Yeah.
Most of us are using Web 2.0 right now, and things like Ethereum and Polkadot is going to be like the kind of new way the internet works in general.
Yeah. Also Cardano as
Yes,
well.
also Cardano, with these types of platforms. Those are probably the big three that seem to be contenders. There are other ones, but
Yeah. I mean Neo, but I've kind of fallen out with that
or a
one.
guy I used to work with was into Lisk, and I had to ask him what it was, even though it was in like the top 30 at that time or something.
Yeah.
I really like Lisk, and I was kind of getting at the point like, all right, I can't own every old coin.
They all listen. I don't think it's going to be like Highlander where there can be only one. I think there's going to be a bunch of them for different applications, and each one's going to have its. Unless Ethereum just totally with the 2.0 takes off to a point where you're like, where it works perfectly, and you're getting like 100,000 million transactions per second. Then.
Yeah. But I mean, even, well, Greg, maybe you could speak on the fact. I heard that during the most recent Ethereum pumps, like the last week or two, that DeFi was almost unusable because of transaction fees.
Oh, I can even talk about that too.
Yeah, I wasn't in the mood to. I didn't need to do anything, but I was curious to check that out just to see like if I wanted to withdraw something or move something around, what the Ethereum gas prices looked like. Yeah, they're pretty high. They're pretty high. They're pretty high. Like definitely like I'm happy I'm not interested in moving anything right now.
Yeah.
But specifically on the MakerDAO platform, I looked to see what it would cost to generate more DAI.
I
And
mean, we just did it 2 weeks
I
ago.
swear today I did that and it said like $700 worth of Ethereum. I'm like, that's a weird thing. So
Yeah.
I'd want to actually check that out now, do a little experiment, see what it is right now.
Yeah, you can go start setting that up. I was going to say about that is, I feel like unless you have like a lot of money in this, it's not worth moving it around because, I actually, if you guys look, I was going to just really quick show you one thing. Can you allow screen sharing?
Oh yeah, I should have done that before. Right.
So, where is it? So, can you guys see that? You guys see in my screen?
No, I see nothing.
Oh, sorry. All right. So if you look over here, you see it now, guys?
There it is. Yeah, now I see it.
All right. So if you look over here, I'm just going to put my finger up there and you can click that link right there. We set up 2 weeks ago a vault with Yearn to basically get interest on my DAI. And I've actually gotten $5.77 since then, which is pretty good. That's great. 15. But my thing is going back to what Greg was saying is because the transfer fees are so high, I'm not even going to touch that or look at it because it's not even worth moving it. And
you lose money
unless you have, maybe $100,000 in there, it's probably not worth it. Do it to pay $700 to move money around.
So go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it. I mean,
I'm just going through. I'm looking at the MakerDAO vaults for Ethereum.
Yeah.
And right now there's 382 DAI available to generate on the whole platform for the Ethereum vaults.
That's weird. Why is there no DAI able?
What does that really mean?
That means that they only have 382 to generate for anyone looking to generate from that.
It probably costs a fortune, so no one's even doing it.
I think it's just all been soaked up. The cat's kind of out of the bag right now.
Right. There's no more to even load a rag. Yeah, I understand.
Just how the algorithm is written or whatever the governance is saying, there's just no more DAI available to generate for this particular collateral type, which is the FA. FB, which has a higher stability fee, and there's only 4,480 DAI for that one. Whereas they have a BAT vault with 7 million DAI available. They have a USDC vault with 11.5 million available, a USDCB with 30 million DAI, a WBTC with 63 million DAI. So there's different vaults. It just so happens that the F vault particularly is dry, which
yeah,
because people are probably buying Ethereum like me and want to get something out of it. And I found this months ago and I was like, this is a freaking solid deal to generate DAI from this and be able to throw it in a high yielding savings account for a stable coin or use it to buy more Ethereum and just keep compounding it, which I did for a while until that crazy wick happened in late November and it scared me away.
Yeah.
But that's kind of really interesting. So I'm going to do a little experiment right now just to see what I can't even generate anything. Earlier, I didn't see that. It was allowing me to generate thousands of DAI if I wanted to, but the price was $700 worth of Ethereum, and I was like, no thanks.
Not worth it.
But even if I try to generate 10 DAI,
how much?
Let's see.
Well, and if you look at the thing too, I think it's 1.3 billion DAI.
$610 worth of Ethereum
for $10
to generate 10 DAI.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ethereum's not ready for that mass adoption Web 3.0 like we're talking about. None of the rest of them are either. But they gotta come a long, long way to be able to compete with the like a Visa, MasterCard speeds kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
To be honest, like the fees for all the other stuff I do in DeFi, I mean, nothing too crazy. It's kind of similar to what I've done. You know, I just did one real quick on the Fulcrum platform that I like. To withdraw my balance, it would have cost $20 worth of Ethereum, whatever.
Yeah. So I guess if you
It's at a
make
24% interest right now. So
right, so if you make that you can just withdraw it and make a
yeah,
profit.
that was interesting too on the Fulcrum high yield kind of thing I'm doing. I saw the liquidity on that run really, really low too. And it's kind of cool to see how the platform increases the interest rate to try to lure in more DAI into the platform. Because it got as high as like 40% at one point when there was like maybe 100,000 worth of liquidity. And now it seems to have like quadrupled up since and the interest rate comes back down to appease that. Pretty cool to see it all kind of working and still chugging along here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it's working just fine. It's just the fees are just higher at the moment.
Yeah, and I think definitely with any of the high yield stuff that you're trying to do, you should always have a longer term mindset. It's not like an in and out of a day or a week. It really should be a few months at least.
Mhm.
In, so far, in my experience.
Well, I just
Yeah.
saw that when Matt screen shared, he earned like 1.3% so far, but it said almost 16% for the year, I think, once he lets it compound
Yeah.
and
And
run.
I would keep it in there for at least, let's say, 2 years and just not touch it, and then you
Right.
can make like a couple $100, and then hopefully at that point the fees are down, because when ETH 2.0 takes over and the fees are basically supposed to be like nothing,
Right.
that's when it becomes like I could literally make $5 and go, all right, I made $5 in a week. I'm gonna go buy a snack, like, or
Yeah.
something like that. Like I'm gonna go order, I'm gonna order a cheeseburger and have it sent to the house right now, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like right now, it's just not there yet. That the idea is there, everything
Yeah.
is being put, like the foundation is being put in place. It's just got to be smoothed over. But I love just looking at making real interest on that's real savings. That's what
Right.
savings should be. That's what the central banks and all the other banks should be, and it's not that. And I was actually reading a book about that, how like I think
That's
in
the promise of the bond market, fixed income market. That's what the promise is. You know, if you've done well enough in your life to save $5 million, you could earn 5% off that. You're making 250K a year.
yeah,
You
it
know,
just
fixed income, which is nice.
and that's what I'm saying. Then you don't have to live a elaborate lifestyle, but you can just live comfortably and do what you want to do. And if you have any kind of hopes or whatever, or dreams of being like doing some sort of career, and it's a hard career to do because it's not lucrative in the beginning, you could at least do that now, because now you have that kind of income
Yeah.
coming in where you're not worried about supporting a family or something like that.
Yeah. But unfortunately, you can't think in dollars anymore, in my
No.
opinion. You got to think in something else.
BTC, thinking those
Well, you
sats.
said, Matt, you're gonna order a snack for $5. You won't be able to afford a snack for $5 in a couple of years.
Yeah, snack will be $500.
I hope not. I hope that's not the case. I really, it just seems like that's where everything's going. And
We'll see. There's a lot of compelling arguments about inflation versus deflation, which has to do with velocity, not money printing. So how does that even come to a head? But I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the short to midterm?
yeah, I don't know if you want to go to that JP Morgan article we were looking at before.
I think I closed it by accident.
That's all right. Well, I was
Talking
just
about
saying,
this in the meantime, I just stumbled across this article. Bitcoin is now the 9th most valuable asset in the world to own.
yeah, it just beat Berkshire Hathaway not too long ago. What's the
And
one?
it's honestly not too far off from flipping Facebook, which is at 773 billion, and Bitcoin is at 637 billion. And
Yeah,
then
it's
that would put Bitcoin in the top 5, right behind Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple.
I mean, it's just about to be Alibaba right there. If you look, it
Yeah,
might even
well,
be there now.
Jack Ma is missing. You might not even see Alibaba around anymore.
Yeah, right. That's just crazy.
Somebody's kidnapped and murdered him or something.
CCP, that's what they do.
Yeah. He complained about something over there, and then that's it. He doesn't exist anymore.
He'll come back out in a couple months and feeling refreshed.
Either that or he's saying,
Re-educated.
Yeah,
either that or he's got enough money to, I mean, he is the richest man in Asia. He could just disappear, hopefully, on his own because he wants to disappear.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think
Something bad happened.
I think the CCP have a tracker in his ass.
Oh, yeah.
That whole place.
You guys ever see the bodies exhibit when it was in New York?
I never did. My wife did though.
Supposedly they were all Chinese political prisoners
Oh my
that
god!
were dehydrated and displayed.
Wow, is that a fact?
That was a believable thing that I read. I think that's a fact.
Was it a Chinese artist?
Should
Or
I fact
Chinese
check that?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
bodies exhibit? Chinese protesters. Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway, so definitely Bitcoin is moving up on the market cap of basically gobbling up these giant corporations. I think also what currency did it beat recently? Bitcoin. I don't know what you guys are looking at right now.
Got distracted.
It was a currency. It just I mean, it's very close to Russian's currency, but it just beat, I think Singapore maybe is the one, like that market cap of that currency. So it's just crazy to see the market cap of this asset going up like this. And
yeah, it's flipping national currencies. That's noteworthy, to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here's what you were talking about. Sorry, it took me a minute. I was just coming across videos, but this is the J.P. Morgan just announced their long-term price prediction of 146,000. What does long-term mean in this article? I hadn't read this yet.
Yeah, I looked through that one briefly. It basically said not this year, even though I think it will pass that this year. Will it end the year like that? I don't know, but I think at some point we'll touch 146,000.
Well, that's what this says. It's unsustainable price target for this year, but unsustainable doesn't mean it won't get to that
It
price.
should be considered as a long-term target. So that's like, and this is a company not too long ago that was basically saying, maybe we can get a video. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, saying that Bitcoin's a fraud and a scam. And
yeah.
All this other stuff.
Anybody would get fired if they worked for JP Morgan.
So like now the company that he's in charge of all of a sudden now says it's what's the other word that they use for it has intrinsic value. That's what they said. Bitcoin has intrinsic value. And so you regret making a fraud comment. Like yeah,
because all their kids buy Bitcoin.
CNN one right there.
Which one?
Third one, CNBC right there. Sorry, Greg, what was that?
Because all their kids buy Bitcoin, and then a couple of years goes by, and they're like,
"Yeah,
I'm outperforming you, Dad."
You can play. Can you make that louder? We can't hear it. You gotta put your speaker thing.
I think I gotta do a different kind of something I gotta work on here.
And this is the date, September 12th, 2017. So this is 3 years, almost 4 years ago now, right? 3.5 years.
This one is from, over 3 years ago.
A couple months before the big 2017 pump.
So I don't know what's going on with your speakers. We're not hearing anything.
Not hearing it at all?
No, you have to put the sound on the thing as the same as the speakers, I think, for the microphone.
I'm not going to mess with that now. I'll get that prepared for next time. I didn't know I was going to be streaming videos here, too.
Listen, anybody that's listening, it's there.
If anybody wants to see the video we're talking about, just go on YouTube and search for Jamie Dimon Bitcoin scam.
There's plenty of articles. He said it. I mean, so that's just how it is, So yeah, I don't know what other stuff you guys want to talk about today. I mean, obviously the price is still hovering around $34,000. Ethereum too, which I maybe we could discuss, maybe look at some of these charts. Maybe we could look at that.
Sure. Let's pull up some charts.
So Ether, which I'm a big fan of, which is what we were talking about before about generating DAI and stuff like that, really had a big move. I mean, and they said it was coming because the all-time high for Ethereum was about $1,400. And when Bitcoin was moving up, it was moving. Ethereum was moving, but it really wasn't moving.
On Kraken, it hit almost 1,600.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, kind of overall, whatever. Now it's almost $1,100, and we had a move from the last time we were talking was $600. So it's almost doubled from our last podcast.
Yeah,
and
2 weeks.
You could have gotten it for $100, around $100. You know, you're talking an 11x. I'm assuming back in March it went down to like 150 or something like that.
I would call like the pretty consistent accumulation range was around like 130, but it got as low as about $80.
Yeah, look at how much money somebody that like the And again, I don't want to talk too much about.
Matt, you own a lot of Ethereum. You sound really excited right now.
He loves it.
Listen, I have more Bitcoin than Ethereum. I really do, a lot more. But
that was an exciting move, though. You're right.
But
it's been the Bitcoin show like the second half of this year, and Ethereum finally got its time.
Fundamentals. If you even go to the ETH BTC chart next to it, because that's what we always like to look at, right?
That's the only one that matters, in my opinion.
See, the recent move up in USDT and US dollars is about 270%.
Yeah,
taking a break. Here's the Bitcoin chart.
Right.
Let's go to weekly. Bitcoin still pretty bottomed out. Yeah, a nice little move the last 2 weeks, but
if you look at that, right, you could have remember we were looking at recently the dot? It kind of looks like dot, the same kind of thing. You could draw two lines from the bottom.
Dot was actually on a downtrend. Well, I guess the shorter time frame, you have a downtrend here.
Right there. That's what I'm talking about. If you look at that and you kind of zoom in into that little, you could kind of see it has a pattern where it was channeling down and then it broke right out. And now that's where you're at. You know what I mean?
Yep, there's your breakout.
So that's what I like to see. I like to see stuff like that. And again, you're gaining more Bitcoin if you're looking at this chart from perspective.
Yep, that's the way to look at that. If you were trading it, yeah.
Yeah. So
or even just thinking in terms of like real value versus, because like Greg mentioned earlier, the dollar's going down too. So that makes this move even more exaggerated.
Right.
The US dollar chart.
So I don't care about
chart. While Bitcoin's moving up, this is also moving up. That means Ethereum's really strong.
Exponential shit.
Right. It's just a lot. It's a lot more dramatic movements than Bitcoin.
It always is.
That's the way it goes.
And it also goes down that way too, right?
Typically,
Absolutely.
I mean, the saying goes stairway up, elevator down, but that looks like an elevator up. So I don't know. But it's definitely interesting to see the whole ecosystem kind of flushed, and the gas fees is really expensive right now. So there's a lot of action going on.
Yeah, I think if you have a decent amount, and
it actually looks kind of like a cup and handle pattern to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Potentially, yeah. If it comes back up to that other high. Yeah.
If that breaks back through that neckline, what would that be a target of?
Over.
Go from 0.04 Bitcoin to 0.063 Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, they were saying
target.
It could hit like a couple of $1,000s, and we're talking like
that is a resistance zone, like over in this area previously.
That would be like a 60% jump.
Where we're at now?
From the previous top.
Where we're at now, that would be about 84%.
The
top of the neckline, you mean?
Yeah, the top of the neckline, 60%.
Yeah, 56%, 60%.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not too shabby.
Assuming it plays out that way, I would say there's some strong resistance before then too.
Yeah, I'm following the Ichimoku cloud with the crypto settings: 30, 60, 120, 30, 20.
You got that chart in front of you?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe you could
Go ahead, give us a share. Let's see what you're looking at.
Okay. Share. So
the state of Louisiana? What is that?
So this is the weekly Ethereum Bitcoin chart. I got interested more in Ethereum back over here when it entered the cloud. Typically, you would have at least an edge-to-edge play on the cloud as far as trading is concerned. So at this point, you could have gone as high as 0.07 Bitcoin. Kind of consolidated in this range since June. So this has been a really long play. These last couple of weeks, we actually wicked out of the cloud, bounced back nicely inside the cloud, and looking for a possible high to around 0.05 Bitcoin. But this could just crunch all the way to the intersection here where the cloud turns green. So the cloud did turn green, which is nice. That's one bullish indicator. The other indicator was the Tekin Kijun cross, the blue over the red here. So now we're just waiting for price to get above the cloud and the lagging span, which is this green line, to be above the cloud. So we're kind of 2 out of the 4 what I like to call mega bullish trading setups, which I like, which those 4 indicators is what I saw on Bitcoin actually back when it did the same thing. What is it on the daily chart back here? That was early October.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty good entry. 3x.
Yeah. So back on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, that was the weekly. Weekly is like, all this trading stuff and technical analysis, from what I've learned, the longer the time frame, the most reliable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is all just forecasting of what things should do based on these indicators. But let's go and take a peek down at the daily and see how that looks. So this was nice to see this little pump because we were stretching really far from the cloud. It was in full bear mode with the red cloud, the Tekin cross the blue over the red trending below, the price below the cloud, and the lagging span below. So this was in full bear territory. Now we're kind of in a no trading zone inside the cloud. Still waiting for that official cross, the Tekin over the Kijun. We're kind of right on top of each other there. Lagging spans in the cloud. So for me, looking at this, I would still be holding my Bitcoin and not buying Ethereum yet. You'd want to see this price to break above the cloud, this cloud to turn green, lagging span above, and the Tekin Kijun cross. Once that happens, I'd feel a lot more comfortable going long over Bitcoin on this. Kind of similar to what happened back here. It shoots the cloud 30 candlesticks ahead of time, which is always nice. Most indicators, they kind of stop on the candle that you're on, but this gives you like a 30-day heads up as far as what the cloud's thinking. So it gives you a nice time to set up your play. And I've always used this on like the longer time frames, daily and weekly, just for that extra.
You can see the last time that cloud flipped green, it started pumping immediately after that. But you would have had 30 bars of a heads up to get in.
Yeah,
right?
So if I get a little 30-bar trail here, it could show you kind of where the last time it was. So like right here.
Yeah, and you can see a candle that day that pumped. So a lot of people are looking at that indicator probably.
Maybe just the indicator's just that magical. I don't know.
Or that pump could have caused the indicator to flip. You never know.
But yeah, you would have had an entry right here around 0.025 Bitcoin, and you could have rode it all the way up to there, or maybe you stop out. Typically, I think you stop out when it re-enters the cloud. If you get a nice close in the cloud, that's kind of like, all right, we should at least expect it to hit the other edge of the cloud where you could see how it reacts there.
It looks like you would have had a good 20-something% profit.
Yeah,
if you had played it that way.
That would have been right here, 25%. So not a bad day's lunch. That would have been about 2 months worth of time, but
Which in
that's
traditional market standards is excellent. In the
yeah.
crypto world, we're kind of like, I guess if it's a safe play, you know.
Well, this is the BTC chart, so you're also making dollar gains on top of that.
Way
True,
higher.
very true.
You know, so, but obviously, as crypto,
It's just like an
people,
exponential move
yeah.
by the dollars.
So that's the indicator I like the best. I get this from Carpe Diem, I think he goes by on Twitter. His name's Josh Ulsowich. He has a YouTube channel, and I learned all about the Ichimoku cloud from him, and definitely recommend you guys check him out if you're
They like
interested
using that in the Crypto Vigilante too.
They use Carpe Diem.
No,
Well, the Ichimoku cloud.
Oh, okay.
So they have different analysts, but they use the same tool. They seem to like the same tool.
Yeah, it's a great tool. It's got a lot in there, condensed into one indicator. Like there's Fibonacci ratios in that mix. You know, the Tikin and Kijun line are really just moving averages, and all that. So it's just a lot going on. If you could understand how to read it, you kind of don't need to play with anything else. But it's fun. It's fun.
I'm just looking at the market cap's gone up at least a little bit overall on the whole crypto market.
Yeah, that's a big news event. I mean, you know, I guess this week we recently passed the previous all-time high market cap, which was set back. I could share
like
that.
800 and something billion around there.
Yeah, so this is a chart basically showing where do we want to take it from 2015 through today. So you could see the market cap high back
820.
here.
820.
Yeah, 820 on January
100.
7th, 2018.
100 billion more.
That was like prime time alt season back then too, because
Yeah,
Bitcoin
that was
had peaked
when like
2 or 3 weeks previous.
everything was NG right there. Number go up. Everything was number go up. You could have just blindly picked a random number and say I'm gonna buy that crypto and then it would go
And
up.
quit your job. That's it. There were people that retired during that alt season.
Dude, January 7th, 2018. My first kid was born 6 days later, 7 days later, January 14th.
Must have been
So,
crazy for you right then, huh?
well, it wasn't so much that time. That was like a good time. It's like,
Yeah,
all
no,
right,
just like
your thesis is playing out in crypto world. You got your first kid coming, so you got a nice little cushion. It was those 2 weeks after she got home that I'm sitting there and just watching this shit.
How am I going to pay for these diapers? Oh,
Oh
no.
my God. Back to McDonald's forever. Sorry, kid.
oh no, it's like bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Oh,
What do we got
bye.
now? What's
Bye,
the number?
Bobby. Bye.
What's the number now? What's the new record?
So now the new record, we're looking strong at like 923 billion.
We're like hours away from a trillion.
And $1 trillion is where, you know, if anyone on Wall Street is not woken up yet, that's when they really waking up.
Oh, I'll tell you what. When we hit $1 trillion, I'm gonna be doing this.
Hey, you know what? You got a woo? I was going to ask you to go back to January 5th of 17 to see what the market cap was, and that's the potential growth. Maybe could be a way to look at it. You know,
Which day?
like today's date 4 years ago, January 5th, 17,
January 5th to 17. Let's take a look.
2017.
Oh, man.
17, not 18.
Oh, 7.
Because that's 4 years ago in the cycle, you know?
Yeah.
Their peak. That's too far. You got to go over more. It's not on
Down there. You got it right there.
Oh.
18
billion.
18 billion.
10x. Oh, wait. No, more than that. Oh, my God.
Way more than that.
Like almost 20, 30. No, was it 40x right there, I think.
It's so big you can't even do the math.
No, I didn't. I briefly looked at it. What is it?
January 5th.
17 million? 17 billion?
18.
18.
So
Call it
20
18.
billion.
Yeah, like 18 billion.
Yeah, it's like a 40x. Probably 45x.
Yeah. but it was 15.5 billion December 2013.
Yeah, that's a.
So
Well, we will see. That's
those
one
were
thing.
the dark ages in here.
Those are time to buy.
That's when I started buying.
That's the best. That's the best time to be in. I mean, just like anybody who got in and had to deal with a $3,000 Bitcoin for the first time after seeing it at 20. You know, it's like, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
4
that was pretty
billion.
much me. I got in pretty much at 20 and then just, wrote it down.
Man,
Yeah,
$3,000 Bitcoin. That would have been, I mean, that's why you told everybody load up. I mean, even when Bitcoin's at $5,000, I was telling everybody I knew, so just buy one. If you got $5,000 in the bank, I was like, just buy one. And I was like, you'll
I
thank me.
know. God bless you for being able to tell people to buy. Like, I have a tough problem actually, like telling people specifically to go buy. Like, I don't know. I just tell them to do your own research. Like do your own research.
Yeah.
Like I've like if I'm your friend or whatever, like I've been yapping about this for
Yeah,
forever for a long time now.
it's
You just
like
hope people will just do their own research, like check it out, learn what money is. Like what I always say, like just learn what money is first.
yeah,
If you're interested in this all or it's curious to you, like just ask yourself, do you even know what the fuck money is? Because most people don't.
right. And also, like, one of our big things is try to get off the term of thinking in dollars and more in satoshis because I was looking on Facebook and some of these groups and some of the people were like, oh, I can buy and sell and blah 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 on like PayPal. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't have satoshis because I see dollars. I was like, stop thinking in dollars. Where's your satoshis? I don't see any. Like, you don't have any satoshis. You cannot withdraw that. Withdrawing dollars is not the same as withdrawing Bitcoin, and you have to understand the difference because there's a lot of people that still don't know the difference. They don't, they don't have that mindset yet, and they need to have that mindset. So, that's why I tell people like, oh, well, how do I bought Bitcoin on PayPal. How do I withdraw it? I said, sell your Bitcoin, take that money, the fiat, bring it to another website like Coinbase or Gemini or whatever, and buy Bitcoin with there and withdraw it to some self custodial wallet. And that's how you buy Bitcoin. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
That's the right way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one other thing I didn't realize was happening with the US dollar, that it was dropping in relation to other currencies around the world, like the euro, the pound. They've all been outperforming
Yes.
the dollar since the news in March. The dollar kind of took like an immediate 8% jump, like right after the COVID news in the mid-March. And by like the end of late March, it was up like 8%. But since then, it's down like over 13%. Kind of interesting if you want to
Yeah,
take
that
a
was just
visual.
people who were scared, so they were just retreating into a liquid asset, basically the dollar.
Well, you keep printing it. What's going to happen? Right?
No, um,
Number goes
it,
up.
it's
Yeah.
just pretty scary. I mean, this is the downtrend right now in the dollar. I got my eyes peeled for this
Yep.
February 12th of 2018 low, because if you break that, I mean, the next support is down here in the low 80s. So um, it's
Get a
just
big move down after that. That's
it's
true. Which
just
means a
crazy.
big move upwards in other assets.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the monthly chart, I mean, this is the way fiat currencies roll, man. They just eat it. They eat
So,
the salaries and savings of the people. That's what they
and
do.
so that's like NGD technology, huh?
Number go
Number go down.
down. Yeah. All those times of hearing your grandma say, back in my day, can of Pepsi cost 5 cents. It's just because of this trend, really. Also because of the change of the type of monetary policy, removing from the gold
Yes.
standard and all that, depending how far back your grandma goes. But even like the euro, which came out, in the early 2000s. I mean, yeah, it's had a nice pump up since COVID for the euro standards, but overall, you're still on a healthy downtrend.
Yeah.
And the Japanese won is no different. Even the British pound, the oldest fiat currency on earth, is no different. Aussie dollar Canadian dollar, like you name them, they're all failing.
That's kind of scary.
Okay, so, and it's because a lot of this. This
Yeah.
little
That's good
chart.
to look at such a high time frame chart on those monthly charts too, because a lot of what I've been seeing in just the current events news is all these other currencies are doing well against the dollar. But if you look at those charts, like they're not doing well. There's just a little
Yeah,
bounce going on here, a reverse correlation, you know?
definitely, and that's what I keep reminding people too. Is we talk about how 25% of the U.S. dollars in circulation were printed last year alone. It takes time for the effects of these things to really be felt.
Yep.
So I mean, definitely. I mean, I get all my news from the charts because the charts don't lie to me. They don't say anything to me. It's just you take a look, you can see what's going on.
Interpreting data, right? Just
And like, I mean, the craziest chart that I've made recently is this one. This is a monthly chart of the money stock, M1 money supply, which goes all the way back. On this chart, it goes back to January 1975, 4 years after the Nixon shock, where he took us off the gold standard 100%. I think we're still on like 40% pegged to gold and silver or something like that. And France asked for their gold back as a part of the Bretton Woods Agreement. The other countries who had their gold stored in the United States would be able to ask the United States for their gold back. Certainly with the expansion of the U.S. empire in Southeast Asia and a lot of the money printing going on, France was the first one to say, let's get our gold back, please. And Nixon was basically like, nah, bro.
I'm not that crazy.
And he's like, actually, we're going off of the gold standard and we're just going to have complete control of printing. And I mean, I just thought it's interesting to just try to pick big events in history, at least as far as I'm concerned, to see the trends. And I mean, the fall of the Berlin Wall, which was like, around October 1989, you saw, almost a 200% printing of the US dollar, which this is printing against salaries and savings. Then from the fall of the Berlin Wall to 9/11, you had like another 50%. From 9/11 to the 2008 crisis, you had another 25% increase in the money supply. And since the 2008 financial crisis, which was the big one for me,
that's when
I started learning about everything. And this whole last decade, while everyone's freaking so excited about all their stock returns and the real estate values increasing, I've been following this.
Yeah.
160% increase in the money supply since then. And this is all quantitative easing and bank bailouts and over promising. This is what happens when you don't have a currency that's hard pegged to something.
Sound money.
Some type of sound money or hard money. This enables politicians to promise away the purchasing power of the people that they are trying to control. And
if you did like an inverted chart, if you thought you had some money in the bank since 1975, what would the purchasing power of that be? It would be basically the opposite of this chart.
And with a higher interest rate too.
Exactly. U.S. inflation calculator is one.
Actually, look at that up. I was going to say, I read somewhere that since the inception of Bitcoin, the United States money supply has increased by like 300% or something like that.
Yeah. So even from 1975, like the chart that I'm looking at, if you had $100, that same thing would cost you almost $500. So
383%. Can you go back to the other chart and see the percentage, the whole percentage all the way to the top right now? You don't have that on that, like the ruler.
From left to right, the whole way. Yeah, that's the 2,400% increase in the money supply. So it's unbelievable. But the glaring crazy thing is this COVID, right? So I mean, the charts that we've been looking at, I mean,
that's comparable to the rest of these increases you have, Mark. But all of them are 10 to 15-year periods, and this is 1 year.
This is not even a year.
304 days. I see that. Yeah.
So it's just this is a game over. This is like Avengers. This is the end game now kind of thing that I see.
Game over, man.
When I look when I look at the chart, it's just it's terrible. And it's nice. I'm always the pessimist of the group here. I hate it. It's just the natural way of me because I just see.
How could
I
you
see
not?
Bitcoin as the lifeboat on the Titanic, but where those women in the lifeboat watching all the men drown, and that's what I think is going to
What are you
happen.
calling us women in a lifeboat? Is that what you mean?
Basically,
Really?
we're the freaking girls in the lifeboat. But and to no fault of our own. I mean, we've been studying this stuff and learning about this stuff, and
A lot of people are sleeping at the wheel.
the lifeboat's earned in a sense.
Mhm.
So I just
99% of the people have no idea.
they have no idea, man.
They don't know. They're not looking at this. That's like, where if you are new into crypto and you're just looking at like the value of like, your investment going up, you should also be looking at this stuff because that's your value of your dollars that you earn, that you work for going down.
Yeah.
Or if you have a lot of money, let's just say, and you got some rich grandma that gave you $1 million and you think, oh, I got $1 million. And it's like, well, as Michael Saylor did, you're sitting on basically an ice cube and it's melting away. And if you don't do something with this, your money is just going to be gone. And you have to find the right asset to put it in because even if real estate, right? Real estate's great, but you're going to pay that all out in taxes in 30 years or something like that.
Property taxes, maintenance fees,
gold can be taken for like, I like gold, but if there's a war or something, somebody could just grab your gold. Like I was just reading an article somebody sent me, some guy, like a weed dealer got caught for something. He's probably big time. And they confiscated $3 million of Bitcoin. But also in the article, that was the headline. But if you actually read the article, there's still $200 million worth of Bitcoin that they have no way of getting hold of because he has the keys probably in here. And he's like, put me away. I don't care. I have $200 million in Bitcoin. And
when I get it out, I'll just reclaim it.
I can get it wherever I want. I can go, So, I mean, it's just so much to all this technology. And it's basically like one of those technologies like the invention of electricity or the car or the airplane. It's something like that. And, it's pretty
massively
wild.
disruptive technology. Yeah.
And the government right now, they're trying to make laws to kind of control it. That's what they want to do. But there's no way to really control this. You could really the only way you can control it is like with kicking in individuals' doors one by one. And it's just, maybe China can control it because and even then they might have difficulty. So I can't say. So I don't know. You guys have any other things you want to bring up?
I think we've went through quite a bit. I think that's enough for one session.
Yeah.
All right. So listen,
price predictions until next podcast.
Well, we're going to record next podcast next week. So let's.
That's tough. 1 week right now?
1 week. Let's see.
Like, what are we going to hit or where are we going to actually be at?
Like a top.
Yeah.
A top.
Where are we going to be at?
A touch or.
Where are we going to be next time we speak?
I say 38,000.
I was going to say like just a touch shy of 40, but the way this market's going, it's like it might just barely cross 40 and then fly up to 45.
I say it does touch 40. I even say it goes higher than 40, but I think we have a correction from that. And they'll be like, oh, Bitcoin crashed again. It's like Bitcoin, it's 42,000, only to crash down to 38,000. Like that's every article I read.
Catastrophic.
Man.
Yeah, that's a buying opportunity. Whoever thought those numbers would be buying opportunities?
It's crazy, man.
That's what a week from now, geez, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna be bullish here. I'm gonna say 43,500.
All right.
43,005
on the 12th.
On the 12th. Nice.
Tuesday.
I like it.
Next Tuesday at 10:30 p.m.
That's right. I like it. And Greg, he's got charts up right now. He's really.
Yeah, I'm gonna just share my prediction. Let's
closed all mine, or I would have taken a look.
Let's do a quick fib retracement.
I'm just throwing darts blindly.
Move here. In a week would bring us out. What? what's next week?
12th.
12th.
A little more room.
Give me some more room, guy. Okay. Yeah, so around here. Definitely, probably.
That seems like it's on trend right there.
Yeah, probably. I'd say a low of 37, a high of 42. So
That's 786.
Seems like we're all in the same spot.
giving myself a healthy range there, but
That's what we're going for, the 786.
I like the 382 and the 618, and the 786.
So maybe we'll hit 786 and we'll settle in around the 618. Where's that?
Yeah.
That would be pretty optimistic. Conservatively would be
39.
Around the 618, so 39. Maybe 40 will give up a fight. Need another week for that. So let's go to, I'll call 30, 38. Yeah, 38.
So Greg and I are exactly the same. Jeff is, what'd you say, 4250? 42,500?
Where was that 786 again?
The 786 is at 41.5.
Yeah, somewhere around there. That makes sense to me. So I'll stick to my original number, 42.5.
Nice. I like it. You're online with what, Max Kaiser? He said 40,
Not financial advice.
42,000. Yeah, $40,000 in play. But
maybe he's looking at that 786 with the fib retracement.
That would make sense, yeah.
Okay.
that's amazing.
Very
And
good.
he was the only guy, we were just talking about that, to actually call the end of the year price. He said 28,000.
Yeah, did you see him today, Greg? He was on, I forget, there's some YouTube channel I started following recently, but he gave his price prediction for the peak of this cycle. Or the end of this year, I forget which, but he said it was going to hit 228. That was his guess.
Max, right? Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah. Was it Stanberry Research or something? I forget what the channel's name is.
Yeah, I'll remain cautiously humble in all events because I hope it works out, but I fear for the world.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Hope it works out for us. At least
What's the opposite of a silver lining? A dark lining? It's like the dystopian view of us hitting six-figure Bitcoin.
I'm a big believer in synonymous order, that nature just has a way of balancing itself out, and maybe just some sick people have been running the show lately, and maybe this is just nature's way of getting some good people, the wealth transfer, just going to some decent people. Because I
some
feel
new
like
people at the very least.
New people. I feel like Bitcoiners are just better people than those in Washington, D.C. just yearning for power and control. We're not asking for control. We're just kind of asking to keep what's ours.
Have freedom.
And that's it. Have freedom. And
freedom. That's it.
Bitcoin is pushing the goalpost towards freedom. So.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Bye.